Hey everyone, I'm now going to show you how to assemble your box if you're doing butt joints. And just a reminder, that's when one piece of wood butts up against another in a 90-degree angle. So with my two short pieces, I'm going to get it all lined up. Now if I wanted to, I could go ahead and nail and screw directly into this or put a dowel in, but it's a lot nicer if you can clamp it, and that way it's holding it for you. So right now I'm going to use this parallel clamp, and it will just hold it firmly in place for me. So now I can work more freely. So if I'm going to nail this, mostly what you would do is you're going to do a little bit of math probably here, or algebra, to get your spacing exact and make your nails look good. But I'm just going to freehand it right now. And I'm going to pre-drill so I don't crack my wood with a drill bit that's slightly smaller than the diameter of the nail. And so, since I'm just freehanding here, now you want to set this down where you have something firm underneath, directly underneath. And I'm just nailing it in. So this is where you might want to think about, do you want a nail that's a copper head or a black nail or maybe a brass nail, something cool, so you can pick your nails to get the desired effect you want. And that's kind of cool, and that's pretty strong now. Another way you might do your butt joint is you might screw it in. If you are going to do that, same thing, you're going to want to pre-drill a hole. And so I'm going to put a screw right over here. I'm going to drill this in, screw it in. And I'm just going to go slow, kind of. And if you've watched a drill video, you've seen you can kind of just go slow, do these little squirts. And at the end, you don't want to strip the thread, so you're going to use a hand screwdriver, handheld, and you do that last turn just to hand tighten. And same thing as a nail, you can do a decorative screw or one that has a head that you think looks cool. Another thing you might do, if you don't want to see the screw, is you could bury it, and it's called countersinking. So I'm going to drill a 3/8 inch hole. Just going down a little bit because I'm going to have to hide the screw and I don't want to go all the way through the wood. Now I'm going to pre-drill my hole. And I'll drill it in here, screw it in. And I want to hide that, and so I'm going to use a little dowel piece. It's kind of got a tapered edge, so you stick the smaller diameter edge in, and you'd give it a pound down. You'd put a little bit of glue on, but just to be quick, I'm not going to do that right now. I can later come back and cut that off so that it's flat and flush with the other piece of wood, and it looks kind of cool. Another thing you might do is you might dowel it. This is called a miller's dowel, and this is a really good system. Notice that I want the dowel to go just a little bit above when it's finished. So that means my drill bit should only go down to that same depth. So what I'm going to do, there's a little notch here to know, but just to show you that a little more exaggerated, I'm going to get a piece of tape. This is a common carpenter's trick, I guess you'd call it, where what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark with a piece of tape my depth. So I want to go to right there. When I hit that piece of tape, that's where I want to stop on the drill bit. So now I'm going to try to go, so I'm going right through the center of that piece of wood I'm going into. This is where the clamp comes in handy because I need to keep it exactly centered. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. I'm not going to do that now, but it's just a little bit of glue. Make sure you get the sawdust out. Put it down. And that's almost perfectly flat. Now that's almost so perfect that I don't need the saw, but if it were, I could cut it off flush. It's a little bendy saw. I can cut it perfectly flat. And then I would come back and sand that very smooth, and it gives that cool little look. And it's very strong. And that's generally the few ways that you might do your butt joints. You might nail it together, screw it together, or put a dowel in. And then when you do that, it's pretty strong. So those are your main options for how you're gonna put a butt joint, how you're gonna secure a butt joint. Nails, screws, and dowels.